everyone, and thank you so much for watching Media Meltdown's Amy's Great Baking Show. This is the debut of this new series that we're going to be doing monthly for now. And I'd like to thank you all for watching this episode and indulging in the sweet treats that we're going to be making today. So this is very similar to the drag series that I have on my YouTube on the Hennessy Williams channel, except this is going to be longer and it's going to be truncated with drag performances and also commercials. So great, I'm sure that's absolutely what you wanted to sign up for. It's not like you don't get it with YouTube anyway. But anyway, I want to thank you all again for supporting Media Meltdown, for supporting me, Hennessy Williams, and for checking out this lovely video that I have for you all today. So today we are going to be making this lovely, delicious treat that has actually been going around YouTube, and it's a popular recipe that's people have been making, and it is a boba lava cake. So it looks absolutely scrumptious. Anyone that knows me knows I love boba. I love to get boba, especially when I know I'm going to be doing drag. It just makes everything a little bit better for me. It's like when you have a performance and like a beer or a drink just tastes better when you're in drag because you put in the work. I don't know if that makes any sense. But anyway, I'm going to be making this boba cake. It is pretty complex and has lots of steps and lots of waiting. So that's going to be fun to be doing this for you all. So this show is pre-recorded. It is not live at the moment, although I will be in the stream chatting and talking with you all. And thanking you all for supporting. And part of the reason why is that there are a variety of recipes I can make that are strictly within 1 hour. This one is not because of all of the cooling time, so I guess I could key with you all for like 50 minutes while like waiting for things, and then you can see me having like a little panic meltdown when things are like not working. But I would rather you all see a longer version, but not a super long version. But I mean, if you all would like to see that, please let me know. So I'm going to be starting off with, right now, the ingredients for this lovely boba lava cake. So I've written the instructions down here. This is all taken from YouTube videos, instructional videos I've seen. So I've had to like kind of figure things out by myself. So you're going to need black tea, either loose leaf, or I guess you could cut it out of tea bags. You're going to need milk of your choice. I'm going to be using Lactaid. You're going to need 3 eggs, and you have to separate the yolks from the whites. You're going to need vegetable oil. You're going to need cake flour. Cake flour you can usually get from like fancy like grocery stores and stuff. It's different than just regular unbleached all-purpose flour. And then you're going to need lemon juice from fresh lemons. You're going to need sugar. You're going to need brown sugar for the boba balls. And you're going to have, of course, the thing to make the boba, which is the tapioca starch balls that comes in bags. You can usually get them at any Asian supermarket. Or if you live in Oakland, they're, you know, just everywhere. Let's see. You're also going to need some tools. You're going to need like several of these bowls. I have like a little hand mixer over here. That would be really helpful to have. You're going to want to have a whisk. And one thing that is difficult, I believe that this recipe is really popular and it comes from Asia. You're actually going to need a 7-inch cake pan. The cake pans that you can usually get here in the States are a lot bigger. But I just got this actually shipped from Amazon. The one I have is actually like this, so it's going to be a lot smaller, and this just makes, like, you know, a really, really cute small lava cake for you and a friend or your dog. Just kidding, don't give it to your dog because it has caffeine and everything. But yeah, you're gonna need those, and you're gonna need a whisk. Let's see, probably gonna need a silicone spatula if you have that. If not, spoons or a wooden spatula will work. Obviously, you're gonna need an oven. Additional ingredients, you're going to need cornstarch. You're going to need to have a saucepan because you will be making some things on the stove. Whipping cream. And yeah, it looks like that's pretty much it. So that seems pretty simple, but I'm going to go ahead and get the ingredients ready for you all right now so that you can see how this is going to go, and you can see me actually make this in real time. So la-di-da, here we go. Okay, alright. So, now I've got all my ingredients right over here, a little bit off camera, and I'm going to be showing you all the stove. One of the challenges with actually doing this is there's going to be like stuff going into the oven, and then stuff's going to be on the stoves here. But the first step is actually you make milk tea, which is kind of like a modified process, because normally if you would be making milk tea, it would be a little bit different to make sure that the milk tea is like, you know, sweet and stuff. But this is a little bit different because it's milk tea specifically for like the frosting and for the cake itself. So the first thing we're gonna do, and I'm gonna have to do a little bit of conversions here, is I have this giant thing of this, it's called the CTC Assam Black Tea. I got this from an Indian grocery market, specifically because I wanted to make chai. But I think this should also work because Boba's made out of black tea as well. So I love Assam tea. So we're gonna need 20 ounces of this. So this is, oh, by the way, I got this from this website called Buy Me Once. So the one that they had, which was actually only $20, is a manual like you know, food gram weigher thingy. So I thought that was interesting that that's more likely to last you rather than like a digital one. So I'm just gonna, ooh, that was different than I thought it would be. It's like, you know, all like grainy and stuff. Okay, so I have to make sure I have 20 ounces of this. Oh my god, y'all, this is a lot. Did I say ounces? Or was it, no, 20 grams. Okay, 20 grams. Well, in that case, man, 20 grams. Okay, so this thing right here is suited but more for like, I think, bigger objects. So I'm actually gonna have to go digital now. Yes, I actually have 3 different scales. So here's what we're gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take this, pour this into here. It's okay, all professionals make mistakes. Julia Child would break eggs on her, like, you know, show, so it's whatever. So I'm gonna take this instead, which is my little manual digital thing here. By the way, these eat up batteries so quickly. It is frustrating and annoying. So we're going to reset this. Yeah, I totally confused ounces for grams. Oops, let's try that one more time. And grams are way less than ounces. So I have this little bowl here. And we're just gonna basically do this until this is 20 grams. Oh, wow, okay. That's already 22, so let's pluck a little bit of it out. 22, 21. 20. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to take this, pour it all the way back in here. No one needs to know. I was making cold brew today and it was like such a mess. Anyway, so that is 20 grams here. Now it's saying 21, whatever. I don't care anymore. So this is going to go inside here. And then now what we're going to need is, it says 250 milligrams of milk in a pot. So I looked up a conversion and 250 milligrams is essentially 1 cup. So I have 1 cup right over here. So I'm going to be taking this milk. Now when I do a lot of kind of like my vegetarian, vegan baking and stuff, I actually use almond milk, oat milk, coconut milk. I'm going to be using just, it's not regular milk, but it's lactose-free milk. Both me and my partner are lactose intolerant, so this is the milk that he likes to use. But because I want to be as true as the recipe as possible, I want to make sure that we're getting kind of like, you know, the cow secretion regular milk that most of y'all normies drink, JK. But, here we go. And it's actually just a little bit more than a cup, so we'll be overfilling here. This looks great. So when they did it in other videos, I guess they weren't using like Assam tea. So the texture is really different. It's kind of like grams, like grammy rather than kind of like tea flakes that we have here. So I decided to just get you a better look here, but as you can see, this is kind of how the tea looks like. super interesting, and that's with the milk. So essentially what you do here is you want it to get it hot enough to start boiling. After it starts to boil, you put a lid on it and you let it rest for 20 minutes. And after about 20 minutes, you just go ahead and strain it and put it aside, and you split it off into 2 different bowls. One is 50 milliliters, which is going to be for the cake, and the other is 120 milliliters, and that's going to be for the topping. But anyway, so it has been 20 minutes. This has been sitting here. So we have our little milk tea concoction all done now, and what you're going to do now is basically strain it, and then we're going to split it off into 2 for the frosting and for the milk tea. So first thing I'm going to do, did I get my colander? I did not. I have to go find it. Oh my gosh. You know, I had 20 minutes to go figure out where my colander was, and now I'm like, aha, here it is. Okay, don't edit that, that's okay. Okay, alright, so here's the colander. This over here, and then I'm just gonna strain this into this small little container right over here. I need to clean these better. So here is the concoction. It's nice and golden. Wow. Okay. It's much lumpier than I thought it would be. I feel like there's maybe a little bit less milk tea than there should have been. I might have made it a little bit too hot. But yeah, this is straining out. It smells delicious, by the way. If you all have never tried making your milk tea, I actually did a vlog where I tried making a lactose-free milk tea. Can I link things? I don't think I can link things. Check out my blog, dragqueencooking.com. Yes, that's right. Your bitch got her own vanity URL. Okay, so now we have this here, and we're going to be splitting this off into one that is 50 milliliters and then one that is 120 milliliters. So let's go ahead, and I think I'm gonna use this for one of them. And let's go ahead and measure out the 50 milliliters, milliliters, milliliters. What are milliliters? Okay, 50 milliliters is 50 grams. Okay, alright, so that's the same. Sorry, stupid moment. Stupid American moment I just had, so. Alright, let's go pretty fast. Okay, that's giving me 52. Why don't I just put that aside for now? So this is going to be about 50 milliliters, and let's see if the other one will give me about 120. So other container right over here. Let's reset it again. Let's see if this is going to give me 120. Oh my god, y'all, there's literally not enough milk tea. I burned too much of it. I'm screaming. Okay, so that was for the frosting. How much is still left in here? Oh my god. Okay, so this is 64 right here. You know what? I could just deal with this later. Let's see. Cake. Okay. To be continued. I'm just gonna put this aside, but for now I'm gonna go take a picture and remind myself that this is only 60 milliliters right here, 63. So she's gonna go off to the side right here. I figure out what to do later because I don't want to keep you all for too long. But for now we have this. So this is going to be part of our cake mix. So the first step that we do basically is we need to go break some eggs. And then we split them off into these containers right here with the whites and with the egg yolks. So we're gonna need 3 eggs. And I have these lovely organic free-range eggs right up here. So I'm actually not that great at separating the yolks from the eggs. So we're gonna see how many times it's gonna take. So I'm gonna take this and see if we can go ahead and separate these. So I think they said that smaller cracks are better than a large crack, and you want to just get it as good as possible. Okay, that was good. That was good. So what I do, I'm gonna take this ring off. It's pretty fancy now. Is basically with clean hands, you just take this with your hands here and just separate it and just kind of like choke the yolk onto it. Let's go ahead and get another one, crack it over here into the whites. And are we going to use the whites for later? I think we might actually will be using them. In that case, I'm going to have my whites that are all fine over here. And then I think in another container, I'm going to go ahead and crack things just in case things don't go the way I want them to. I'm literally going to clean a bowl right now. You all weren't supposed to know that I had dirty bowls in here, but yeah, I just did that, so I don't even know what this had before. We're a judgment-free zone here at Media Meltdown, right? I just got these new dish towels, by the way. They're really nice, over from Crate & Barrel. That was all the way in Walnut Creek from Oakland. I do not recommend the drive. Was it worth it? Not really. So I will probably not do that again, but where did I put that egg? Put that egg right here. So let's try this again. The 2 other YouTubers who did videos of making this boba lava cake, I know there's going to be a lot more, but the 2 that I follow, it's Nino's Kitchen, which is this lovely YouTuber, I think he's Korean, who has a cat. And then this other one, Emmy Made in Japan, who's actually an American living in Rhode Island, and she makes lots of really fun cookie recipes. So those 2 are my inspiration. And Emmy's cake was alright. Nino's looked really good. So I think my goal is to have a cake that maybe doesn't look as good as Nino's, but better than Emmy's. And let's go ahead and pour this all in here. And so I think what I'm going to do now, dump this in here. What you're going to do is basically whisk these all together, and then you're going to pour the milk tea in. And so that's going to become part of the base of your cake, because we're also going to add into the cake flour. And alright, so we're going to pour, this is the 50 milliliters of the milk tea. We're going to pour that in here gently. Oops, maybe not so gently. And then we're just going to go in and take our whisk. Whisk, whisk, whisks right over here. I just have everything all over the place. And we're just kind of going to beat it into an oblivion. Actually way too small to beat into oblivion, but here we are. How are you all doing? Answer and I will talk to you in the chat. So another thing that you want to do is you're going to want to add 20 grams of vegetable oil. So I actually don't have vegetable oil, I do have canola oil, which is pretty close. I know it's going to seem interesting to have vegetable oil in this cake, but with a lot of cakes it's important to have a binder, so I believe that vegetable oil is the binder there. But let me just quickly double check to make sure that I have my proportions correct. 1.5. So we're going to put in 1 tablespoon and a half in here. This is half a tablespoon. This is half a tablespoon. Oh, jeez. Please don't judge, y'all. I actually have a bunch of oils. I have sunflower oil, which I think I bought by accident, not knowing what it was. I have olive oil. I have obviously coconut oil and safflower oil, which is used a lot in Indian cooking. So now that this is all blended together, I'm going to put it in a bigger bowl. This is so weird to configure. So I'm going to pour this all in here. I really should be wearing an apron actually. I hope I don't get anything on here. And then we're going to be putting in 70 grams of cake flour into here. Now I have cake flour thanks to my lovely partner, bought it for me. And just gonna double check my portions here, but 70 grams is 1/3 cup of cake flour. So I'm gonna take this over here, and then we're going to put 70 grams or 1/3 cup of cake flour in here. Oh my god, this is so tight. Wow, I think an ant died trying to get in here. Sorry to spoil y'all's appetite, but that's really good because it means that baby like tied this really tightly together. All right, so we're gonna have 1/3 cup here. So we're gonna whisk this together. And this actually, there's not too many ingredients actually for the base. So this is coming along quite quickly. And then the last thing that we're going to be adding in here after the cake flour is we're going to be adding a half teaspoon of crushed black tea. So I think by crushed black tea, I mean I have the loose leaf black tea, so hopefully that works. And I'm told that once this blends in the cake, you're not going to be able to taste the bitterness of the tea. It's just going to be really, really delicious. So here's how that looks right here. It's all become very smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, I put this away, but I'm going to need to get it again. You know what? Let me actually try a different tea. So here I have an English breakfast tea bag. So I'm just going to take this apart. And this is actually crushed a lot more finely because it's in a tea bag. And this is like super processed and everything. I like to get things loose leaf and in bulk. But sometimes it is a lot easier just to have the little conveniences like that. So this is perfect. We just have some crushed tea here. Sprinkle in here. That looks beautiful. I guess the rest of this we don't need, so I'll set it aside. This looks quite lovely. It has like this almost, you know the Java chip frappuccino they have at Starbucks? It kind of looks like this now, the mixture. So basically we just go ahead and we set this aside. That is aside. And then next, oh my god, I have egg white on this book. Okay, wait, let me clean this up. This is gross, sorry. This is like my amazing cakes book. So I literally just have a stack of books on top of them. They're like my cookbooks, and then this is the stand that you see because there's nothing else that's just the perfect height. So next we're going to have, what did I mean here? I wrote notes, but I'm like 1/4 cup, 1/4 teaspoon. Give me 1 second. Okay, it is 1/4 of a teaspoon of lemon juice. So in that case, let me go grab a little container and I will go squeeze in some lemon juice. So I'm going to just go ahead and that's a spell. Y'all did not see that. You have no idea how dirty my floor is, and I'm just going to say that it's not dirty at all. So I'm going to take a knife and cut this lemon. Beautiful. And then I'm going to go ahead and squeeze 1/4 of a teaspoon of lemon juice in here. Honestly, that's actually such a small amount, I could probably just, oh wow. So we have this lemon here, and I'm just gonna squeeze. That should be just enough. And so what we're basically making here is a meringue. And then the meringue is going to be something that we add sugar until it basically foams up. So this egg yolk will actually transform before your very eyes, and it's really cool. And I'm just really excited to show you it here. So let me just get a few more ingredients ready, and then I'll show you all how it's going to be transforming. Okay, alright, so as you can see, I'm going to bring you up up close and then show you basically how I make the meringue. So we have the egg yolks here, along with the lemon juice. So what we're going to do is essentially whip it slightly until it's foamy. So I have a hand mixer here, but for the first part I'm actually going to be using just a regular whisk. So I have this whisk from before, which I now just washed. And we're just going to whisk it until you can see that it just kind of becomes foamy. And I'll show you how it basically looks like once it's done. Okay, so I think that's good for now, nice and foamy. So now what we're going to do is you're going to take 65 grams of sugar. So I'm going to measure that out really quickly off camera, and then you're going to split it into 2 halves. So I kind of guesstimated here, but here's about 65 grams. I think I'm going to go ahead and just do half and half. So now with your hand mixer, you're going to want to mix it all together until it hits soft peaks. And so soft peaks is when basically the meringue will stand up kind of like by itself, but it isn't completely stiff. It's like really hard to explain, but I'll show you on a bit. So let's do about half of it here. Okay. And we have hit soft peaks. Thank you so much for your patience. I wish it didn't take as long as it did, but as you can see with soft peaks, you kind of slow your whisk here and then you just go like this. As you can see, it's soft enough to stay up, but it's not completely stiff. So with that, we're just gonna go ahead and because we are making our frosting, we're going to kind of mix some of the milk tea with it, and then we're going to create the frosting. Y'all, that last part got me so hot. Even though I was using a hand mixer, I was like, I really hope this is working with my meringue, you never know. But I was able to get those soft peaks, which are holding up right over here. So earlier I said that this was going to be used to make the frosting. I was wrong, because I was reading my own instructions and I just put as many instructions as it took to just make the thing. So what we're going to do is actually we're going to take the cake milk tea that we made from before. We're just going to take a little bit of it here and just mix it in right over here. I'm just gonna put a little bit right now and just kind of like lighten it up. Take the whisk and we're just gonna lightly kind of pour it in here. It's just crazy how egg white can just change so easily. Alright, so now it's like blended in here. And now we're going to take the rest and we are just going to fold it in. Now you don't want to whisk it and basically over whisk it too much, because essentially then you're just going to be deflating some of the air bubbles that makes the meringue stay up. So I'm just going to be very carefully kind of just folding it is the word that they use there. So here's my scraper and I'm just going to go in and kind of scrape all of this in here. Basically, again, once you've folded it carefully, making sure not to destroy the air bubbles, you want to make sure to preheat your oven to 320 degrees. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and do that now. Okay, alright. Well, that's getting ready. Really should have done that earlier, but Okay, and then now we have this container here. So it's really interesting, but in the other videos they haven't greased the pan before they poured it into here. And now this is a springform pan, which means the bottom part actually comes off here. And so I'm kind of really surprised what's going to happen once you basically see the cake rise and everything. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take this and scrape it all inside here. Oh, it's so beautiful. My delicious boba cake mix. Level this up, and once my oven is up to 320 degrees, we're just going to go ahead and pop it into the oven, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with the frosting. Alright, so I have put our delicious cake in the mold into the oven for 320 degrees for 50 minutes. And next what we're going to do is create the frosting. Now the frosting has 2 waiting parts, which is why I decided to do this video pre-recorded and not live. So I'm going to walk you all through how you basically make the frosting here. And also because I ran out of milk tea, because a lot of it had basically dried up before I was able to use it. I have another milk tea that is just brewing right now so that we can go ahead and use that for the frosting. So I think this is actually starting to bubble, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on it. Where'd that lid go? All right. And set it aside. Cool. Okay, so while we go set that aside for about 20 minutes, let me go ahead and set the timer here, and my phone is dead. Okay, so while we go ahead and set that for about 20 minutes, which is going to be, time check over there, we're gonna go ahead and make the frosting. So the first thing we're gonna need to do is, again, have an egg yolk. So I'm gonna take this right back here, take one egg, which I had previously put in the fridge, but now I'm gonna take the egg out of the fridge again, and hopefully get this correct. Oh, okay, that almost failed, but this is such a beautiful, just a beautiful egg that is right over here. So, once again, we're gonna go ahead and separate the yolk from the egg yolk, but this time we're not actually gonna do anything with the egg yolk after. I don't like wasting so much, so I think what I'll probably do is I like make eggs, or like, you know, I guess fried egg whites. So I'll go ahead and probably do that to get some protein while I go eat this delicious boba cake. And so there is our egg yolk right here. Let me go quickly wash my hands. Going on next, so we're going to take egg yolk and 40 grams of brown sugar. So I think now, this is like a really big container, but this one's clean. So I'm gonna pour the egg yolk in here. So cute. Did you know that chickens will like eat their own eggs? Because they're basically unfertilized eggs, and chickens don't really care. I think they're actually omnivores. They eat bugs and stuff too. And I'm sure that if you all have seen The Social Network, like there was that chicken that ate chicken nuggets. I mean, that's really fucked up. But I mean, chickens just kind of don't give a fuck, and I guess that's what's kind of cool about them. I don't eat chickens, so anyway, I do eat their aborted egg cells. So we're gonna take the brown sugar, and we're gonna get 40 grams of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure that out with my itty bitty thing right over here. Does anyone else have like a kitchen that just goes to like, just obliterates whenever you're cooking? Because mine does that, and then my partner hates it. He's like, the kitchen looks like an absolute mess. He's like smiling right now because he knows it's true, but yeah, things get so messy when I film. Luckily, of course, because I want to have a good impression for you all, I clean the kitchen like crazy before I film these, but then afterward it just gets completely obliterated. So here's my brown sugar, and we're gonna need 40 grams of this stuff. 35, and we're already at 49, so I guess I have to take some of this and put this back. But don't worry, I'm actually going to use up this whole pack because we're going to use the brown sugar again for the boba. That's right, you can't have a boba cake without boba. Okay, so that's 40 grams right here. I'm going to pour that in right here into our bowl. And then next what we're going to need is basically our 120 milligrams of milk tea. So I'm going to take, this is about 60 right here, and then we're just going to add another 60 once that milk tea is ready. By the way, it's really cool with this cake because it completely like rises once you put it in the oven, so it's basically going to double in size. Which is really interesting because it doesn't have any sort of like rising agent like baking powder or yeast or anything. So I'm really excited to see that happen. So I'm going to go ahead and wait for that milk tea to sit for another basically 15 minutes. Alright, hi everyone. So it is almost time for the milk tea to finish basically marinating in there, and I couldn't wait any longer, so I'm just going to go ahead and continue now. So again, we have our little concoction over here, and I have the milk tea here, and so we're going to go ahead and strain it one more time. So here's the original bowl that I had to strain it with. I'm going to open this up, and we're going to strain it all the way in here. And I think this time we had less things burned, which is good. And so I actually have more than I need. I wanted to make sure the proportions were correct. So again, I had the same amount of tea, and I had like 1 cup of the milk. So alright, so now I'm just gonna make sure that I weigh it out. So we had 64 grams of the milk tea in there already. And so I'm just gonna make sure that, let's see, we're going to have, let me think. So that comes out to 56, so I'm gonna make sure I get 56 grams in here. That's 56 perfectly. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in here. And, all right. And the last thing that we're gonna need is we're actually gonna need 5 grams of cornstarch. So I think 5 grams is literally just gonna be like a pinch. I'm not actually gonna measure it out. I'm gonna guesstimate it just like how I did with the sugar, which kind of bit me in the ass because then I was like, fuck, I might not have had enough. So I think I'm gonna do a ½ tablespoon and just a bit more. So this is my cornstarch. I once made a mess in my kitchen. I was trying to make Chinese food. It was specifically for my Chinese friends. If you know that Chinese like eggs and tomato dish over rice, it's so good. That's like one of my comfort meals growing up. But this whole entire thing fell and my kitchen was covered with cornstarch. And flour is pretty easy to remove, but cornstarch stays a long time. So I can still see spots where there's literally, I shit you not, like cornstarch over the cupboards. So now I'm just going to whisk this all together. And so this is really interesting, but on the website that, or on the video that I actually was getting my instructions, it says that you want to heat this up on low heat until I quote unquote, it looks like jelly poo, and then you refrigerate it for 50 minutes. So basically, because there's cornstarch and everything, it all just starts congealing together. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this like in a pot, and then once it looks like that, I'm gonna go ahead and shove it in the kitchen, or shove it in the fridge. Shove it in the fridge for about 50 minutes. Okay, alright, so I'm gonna take this concoction over here and put it into this pot. Oof. Take this wooden spoon, it's the closest thing I have available, and just kind of start scraping the bottom to make sure that everything kind of gets together. Alright, so I turned up the heat a little bit since it was taking forever to mix. As you can see, it's actually gotten a lot thicker. So I'm gonna wait for it to thicken up even more and also get darker in color. And then pretty much you're gonna be ready to pop it in the fridge. Alright, y'all, so at this point, I don't know how much more it's gonna thicken. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead, call it quits, and pour it into the bowl that we have here. And then essentially what you do is you pop it in the fridge for, Nino's Kitchen says to pop in the fridge for 50 minutes. And Emmy Made in Japan says to pop it in for 30 minutes. I think honestly she just didn't want to wait that long. I mean, I can't blame her. So I think I'm gonna maybe do a happy medium and do 40 minutes. And then basically after that, we're gonna go ahead and mix it with whipped cream, and then you'll see me take the cake out soon. All right, everyone, so now it is boba time. So I have this right over here. I bought this from an Asian supermarket, and it is the tapioca pearls, black sugar flavor, and it says ready in 5 minutes. So I'm actually supposed to cook this for 20 minutes, so I don't know about that part. But I have my newly washed container here, and so I'm going to need to have, let's see, 50 grams of boba, so I'm going to measure that out over here. 50 grams. It doesn't specify how much water, but I think you just need to have enough water to go over the boba, because then after that, you just strain it out. So let's open this up for the first time. I actually bought this ages ago, not for this video, just because I wanted to make boba milk tea, and I just didn't for the longest time. So these are my lovely little boba balls. I'm going to put them over water. Alright, so as you can see, it started boiling, so I put it down to medium, but the boba balls are already really expanding. Eventually then they just get really soft on the outside. But you want to make sure to stir it every so often so that the boba balls don't just get stuck. Alright everyone, after a long break we are back, and this is going to be the last one, and I can't believe this Cake is almost done. It has been taking such a long time with so many cooling times and different components. So the last part is basically we're gonna go ahead and take our 200 grams of whipping cream. We're gonna go ahead and thicken it and combine it with the jelly, so-called jelly poo of milk tea that we had from earlier, which has now cooled down quite a bit. It's been about 40 minutes. Oops, come on. Wake up again. So this is our whipping cream. 200 grams of this. I'm gonna go ahead and take a whisk and just thicken it up a little bit. So you're gonna take this cream and then whipping cream, and you're just kind of going to just whisk it until it thickens. I guess it just naturally thickens, which is kind of cool. And then after that, you're just going to add concoction. By the way, I have my boba, which is still cooking, and wow, really looks like boba now. Still baking at like medium heat. So once that's going to be done, we're going to go ahead and combine everything all together. So this is really just like the final countdown before we finish this really long cake. Just want to make sure that this is all nice and heavy. So you don't want this to be too watery because it'll literally slide off the cake. We also don't want it to be too heavy because it will literally stay on the cake. And there's this beautiful effect where when you take the acetate paper off, it just flows over the cake and just makes it look really sexy. Okay, I'm just gonna keep this at that, and then go ahead and just try and put as much of this in here as possible. Come on, get in there. Ooh, okay. And so now it's kind of looking like this. This is basically the whipped topping, kind of like the buttercream that's gonna be on top. So that's why I want it to be nice and thick. I'm kind of worried this is not gonna be thick enough, which means it's gonna pour over the cake. So I bought this acetate in the mail, and this is actually specifically, oh, that's interesting, for wrapping cakes. And so this is how you're able to put the topping on it before that all droops over. So, oh, there's like a little tape thing here. I think I'm actually gonna reuse that. And the bigger you get it, the bigger it is. So I actually wanted acetate that was bigger than this, but it was gonna be like all the way up to like maybe like $16. Oops. So let me go ahead and cut a little bit of this here. So what we want to do is, oh, it would be like me to get it just a little bit too short. Fuck. What a waste. Let me just get a little bit more. Okay. Oh, this looks pretty good right now. Alright. I don't even know if I maybe need to tape this. I probably should anyway. So we have this little thing here. I'm not sure if this is tape. Ooh, it kind of is like tape. Alright. This is like, you know, in case you're actually going to hand people like a cake just like this. Oh shit, I put that in the wrong place. Oh well. What's done is done. So as you can see, it's, you know, all wrapped nicely like this. Okay, so the boba is done. It's all nice and like bobly over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and strain this. Okay, so you're gonna take I guess a tablespoon and a half of brown sugar, and you're just gonna mix it in there, and that's gonna make the brown sugar boba, which is gonna be super delicious. So here is my brown sugar. Is this clean? This is totally not clean. Why am I like this? Here's one thing of brown sugar, and then here's a half thing of brown sugar. I'm gonna mix it in all really nicely here. And we're just gonna hold on to that for now. You're also supposed to like let that rest so that it's not like super hot, but I think I might just skip that part. Going back to this concoction right over here, I think I'm just gonna whisk it some more, because basically it's supposed to be firm enough to mostly stay there, but you also want it to kind of slide over, so I don't know how firm I can actually get this to firm up. Come on. Okay, so let's that it can get nice and thick. I don't know how much thicker it can get. Oh, this is gonna pour all over. Okay, I have one last chance, which is I'm gonna use my whisker thing here to get it to whisk as much as possible. All right, luckily this is still plugged in. This is like the most messy my kitchen has been in such a long time. I promise the next drag queen cooking episode is not going to be as much of a hot mess as this one. Oh, I guess I can't promise that. Actually, yes, Hennessy is a baking show on Media Meltdown, not drag queen cooking. Okay, so go ahead and whisk this. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this because my kitchen is a mess and I want this to end. So here we have the topping and we're just gonna pour it over here. Woo. And that is our cake and it's already dripping out. Oh my god. And then, so the pièce de résistance is you take this boba, this brown sugar boba, and you top it over here. Oh my god, it's just going into the soup. Ah! Okay. I have to admit, this is not actually how the cake is supposed to look like. So I think the issue here is when I was making the jelly goo, I actually didn't make it thick enough, which is why I don't think that the whipping cream is stabilizing to this, and this is like making a huge mess right now. Oh my god, okay. But anyway, you're supposed to take this out and then it just kind of like surrounds the cake. Okay, I'm actually kind of scared. Okay, I have to find some way to like taste this so that you all, oh my god, so that you all can see what this tastes like. I think basically I'm gonna have to go ahead and, oh man, how do I make sure that this doesn't spill? It's like literally so close to spilling, y'all. To do. Okay. Should I just? Okay. Oh! Yeah, I did it. Just gonna let that pour out over here. Okay, well at least now you can see the boba ball, sort of. Okay, so I'm gonna lift this up. Here's our droopy drowned cake. Next time, make sure that when you make that jelly goo thing, that it's like way gooier. Oh man, this is so much worse than Emmy's cake. I like kind of wanted to reduce. Okay, so I'm gonna cut a slice of this. Ooh. Okay, cut a slice of this right over here. I mean, the bottom part of the cake is pretty much as it's supposed to be, aside from some drooping. Oh jeez. Take this right over here, grab this, and I'm gonna put this on here. Okay, the boba balls do look really cute when it's drooping on here. Alright, so keeping in mind that the topping is not supposed to be the way it is, here's my reaction. That is really good. Okay. The cake may look a mess. The whipped topping did not do what it was supposed to do. This is absolutely delicious. It tastes just like milk tea. Got the brown sugar. Boba balls turned out right. Yeah. It's not the best boba I've had, but it's still pretty damn good. I mean, overall, I would say I definitely did mess up on the topping. It's supposed to be to the point where it's floppy enough to to kind of fall down, but not that it's completely liquid like it is here. But yeah, overall this cake is really amazing. I would recommend it. I would just say definitely the part where you're making that topping with the cornstarch, make sure that you whisk everything all together, and then make sure that it's actually really goopy. They said to put it on low heat and keep stirring it. I would actually say raise that up to like a medium and just wait until it's just completely bubbling and just looking like, you know, goop. And then I think pretty much that's really all there is to it. So this is the first media meltdown, Hennessy's baking show. So thank you all so much for watching, despite some of the mini setbacks along the way. And I hope you all to see you next month. I'll be making another delicious cake or what have you. Bye!